Right, I just want to make this rant as quick as possible because I have had enough. At some point, will be, at some point, heading towards a nervous breakdown. I still don't know how my father died 2 years ago. I'm worried about my possessions, my gold ring that was in the self-contained flat at SDR Living, where Jim on the desk, the night porter, was sacked after a quarter of a century of turning up to work drunk and dealing with the vulnerable and disabled and homeless, and ignoring an online petition about bullying the homeless and the vulnerable and the disabled, the care of the Eastbourne Trestle Trust. And also my care coordinator, who was sacked, who got me into that flat and said I could live there as long as I needed to. And she worked for my GP practice because my GP, Dr. Stewart, is complicit in this, and the General Medical Council, which is a scam. I need to add to all the bad reviews about it being a scam, including a doctor's review on Trustpilot, just like the local government and social care ombudsman. But this is actually a message in general to several people, because at this rate, I've moved in here and I've complained about a few things that allegedly, I don't know if it's true or not, but a couple in here had complained about there being no hot water, and there was a problem with the oven and the heating as well. Now, I've also had an issue here with someone, but I won't talk about that because I've got to be very careful what I say. However, at this rate, the landlady is not going to get paid her rent because Monique at Eastbourne Borough Council asked me to get the floating support worker to get me onto the higher rate of housing benefit under universal credit. And also, my legal rep, the only reason why I'm here is because the law firm, which Brighton Housing Trust are only too aware of, and I won't name that law firm, but I need to complain about them because the only reason why I'm here is because I had my emergency accommodation taken, and my legal representative needs the tenancy agreement of this place that I've only been in for a week. And the only reason why I'm here is so that the council can't illegally take a roof over my head. I am now going to read a text message that I sent to the Brighton Housing Trust floating support worker just a few minutes ago, because I mean it. I am very close to having a mental breakdown. And the landlady of this property, I spoke to her, she phoned me, she sounds lovely, but she doesn't want me to have a mental breakdown, because if you end up sectioned, you could end up sectioned indefinitely. Things have not changed. If I've had a hangable offence committed on me by Shani from the crisis team under Nuremberg Treaty, and our freedoms and rights are gradually being taken from us, but there is thankfully pushback, anything can happen, because the landlady of this property, she doesn't live in this country, but she knows how She's about the same age as what my late mother would be. I've got to be careful what I say, but she's in her 80s. And she lost a niece to suicide. And she knows that the social services are full of, in her own words, complete and utter bollocks. Yes, because I've got their lies. I have got a recorded interview with a false offer of a flat. And then a few months later, at that very property where I had that meeting with those people, I am being attacked. And there's blood on my door. It's in that video, evidence of licensee attacking me, and all members of the council knew about my YouTube channel before I'd even reached out to Councillor Josh Babarundi OBE, who was dishonest and told me to go down to Eastbourne Borough Council after ignoring my online application form. No, how do you do? But I know about your YouTube channel. And as a direct result of that, back in April this year, I was assaulted by security guards who pushed and shoved me out of the town hall where I signed my mother's death certificate. Just days after the council forced me to sign a homeless application form. My mother would be 86. So yes, I know what I'm talking about. Now, I'm going to keep this as short as possible because it's not even worth wasting my breath on this. But this is the text message that I sent to the floating support worker because I can't take in what she is saying. She's saying, I've been on leave. Did somebody or other contact you? You know, one of these titles that they have. They love their titles and badges and lanyards, but do very little to pick up a tiny finger. And I'm so overwhelmed. Do you know, I read the first part of Grace Hill's email to me and I couldn't read anymore. And my partner just said, look, Bryony, it's the same old guff. Yes, so this is a text message. Hi, this is Zoe, the floating support worker from Brighton Housing Trust. And I sent it about half an hour ago. Hi Zoe, to be honest, I am heading towards a nervous breakdown as it is on top of people not responding. I couldn't take that in. No one has contacted or helped me. I don't know how my father died 2 years ago. Barwells do. I'm worried about my gold ring and valuables taken by the council from supported flat. My legal rep wants information I cannot get because the rude letting agent won't take calls or see me, and this landlady who knows about social services and lost a niece to suicide won't get paid her rent at this rate, but she hasn't texted me her email address. So I don't know what is going on, but I only thought to get in here because my roof over my head was unlawfully taken with threats. That is, and I've put the name of the law firm for you. This landlady seems lovely, but I already had several issues here. I have really had enough of it all. I wasn't shouting where I put capitals. I sincerely hope Victoria meant it when she said if I wrote about my experiences, she would get it published. That's the landlady. Do tell Dan Saxby to look at mine and all the other reviews on Trustpilot of the LGO being a scam. Compensation for police arresting us homeless? Seriously, Dan? As for Lorraine Blackwell, not wanting to be recorded. She knew about Sherelle Clark because when I was at Belmore Road, she said to me with almost tears in her eyes, she said, the council say she's got to stay there. She was under the thumb. She, as in Lorraine Blackwell, knew about Sherelle Clark, later mentioned in the BBC online news as mugging the elderly. I recorded her, as in Sherelle Clark, after she assaulted me and neighbours supporting me. 22 previous convictions, and they had done the same 2 years earlier on the Isle of Wight, Hampshire Constabulary. Look it up, it's online. Sherelle Clark and Dion Clark, mother and daughter jailed for mugging the elderly. And this is where I put in capitals. The article's online, and Grace Hill said it was suitable. That's Grace Hill, the housing needs specialist. And they got police to beat and target a whistleblower on Beachy Head twice. Me. I came so close to suing the Herald and Crampen Mullany. That's my text message to the floating support worker. There you are. Nothing more to say. Although I think I may just comment on Grace Hill's email if I just bring it up here. Minded to review. Doesn't really matter either way because it's, as my partner said, it's all guff. See, my paralegal, she's trying to fight this for me. Yes, trying to fight. You've got so much to hide, haven't you? Do you know what? It's not even worth it. Oh, and as for being diagnosed, well, that's a joke. There's a lot that hasn't been properly diagnosed. My sister's living as a man. She's had a sex change. I was told by a locum 7 years ago, before all this trauma, that me and my sister need trauma-based therapy. Me and my transgender sister. So I've got the equivalent of what she's got, and all you did was cause me further trauma. And all Monique can do is, like all these others, say, well, you are resilient. Is this resilient? Is this, Monique? Is this resilient? Is it? Stabbing myself through the arm with a 6-inch knife, and you're talking about your holidays abroad. I tell you what, all of you at Eastbourne Borough Council and social services, all you care about, and the police, are your pensions. And you might think you're good people, and you do all your this and your that, and Christ consciousness, and all your pagan, Christian, New Age Christian, satanic nonsense. It's going to get, you might think you might be doing all the things that are good. But in these last days, when Yeshua, when you go to our Saviour, and he says, depart from me, you wicked doers of iniquity, for I never knew you. It's not even worth reading. I just wanted to hear what Monique had to say. I've got a conversation recorded onto my laptop. I've got so many that aren't on YouTube. They're for me because I was fighting so hard just to keep a roof over my head, and I wouldn't put a dog, I wouldn't put a rat in some of the places that I have been in, with bed bugs crawling on me. But it costs £7 million a day to put up people coming here illegally in dinghies. It's got nothing to do with race. It's to do with people coming here illegally, human trafficking, criminals, military. Yes, I know your secrets. Ephesians. What is it? Ephesians 5:11, is it? Is it 5:11? Expose, have nothing to do with the works of evil, but rather expose them. Fruitless deeds of evil, but rather expose them. Try to remember that one. But really, it's just not even worth it. You've used any information about me to twist things. It's the same old guff, to turn it to your, and yes, you might be doing it under your legislation and all of that. It doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is, you heard a phone call under common law of the land, under our Creator, Magna Carta, under our Creator. You failed to stop and correct for your constituents. You failed to keep me safe. I put the CFO on notice, the living man or the living woman, Amira Javadi, in December 2021, around the time that my father died, and I still don't know how he died. And then I self-funded the Cavendish Hotel for 9 months for my safety, just for my safety and sanity, because I was attacked by convicted criminals, one of them on a tag. And Grace Hill, that phone conversation, you're hearing my distress and you're saying, no, we've made our decision, it's a suitable accommodation, but the evidence is on YouTube. And Councillor Josh Buberendi, doesn't matter how much you smile, my partner tore up your leaflet. How dare you put your leaflet through my partner's door? Because he's mentioned in this letter from Grace Hill. Because you used my partner's address, didn't you? That he can only use by law for single occupancy. But you illegally abused his home. It is just so corrupt. It's so underhand. I'm due so much compensation, really. You just carry on. You carry on with it. Anyway, to those who seek Yeshua and Yahweh and the very narrow path, few there be that find it. Wide is the gate to destruction. Narrow is the path to salvation, and few there be that find it. Shalom Yahweh.